Bonjour à tous, bienvenue sur LanguageCraft pour une nouvelle vidéo sur Planet Coaster. On se retrouve cette fois-ci pour la partie interview et je suis avec Jonny Watts qui est le directeur créatif, le Creative Director du jeu et également l'officier créatif de Frontier de manière générale, donc la boîte qui développe et produit Planet Coaster. So hi!
Bonsoir.
Alors il connaît un petit peu de français mais ça va être comme Nick tout à l'heure. C'est un petit peu les bases. So, how are you? How is this event?
Yeah, the event's absolutely incredible. Some amazing people come to see the game, and I'm really enjoying showing off Planet Coaster. It's a privilege.
Great. Well, we're happy to be here. So I've got a couple of questions which are my own, and then a lot of questions that came from the community when I just sent a tweet out saying, "Hey, I'm checking out this game. Do you have any questions?" The first one, which I believe, well, I won't answer it for you. Anyway, how is the terrain going to be dealt with? How are we going to be able to modify it?
So for the actual alpha release, which is coming out on the 22nd, that function's disabled. But shortly after it, a small number of weeks, we're going to be using it's a voxel system, which basically means you can have overhangs, you can sculpt beautiful things. I know that hopefully that you've seen some amazing creations that some of our artists have done, you know, wonderful fantasy trees to impressive golems like looming over the park. Super creative. It's almost like, in technical terms, like a mud box or a ZBrush sort of way of sculpting. It really is sculpting, so very excited about that one.
Okay, so a little wait, but it is coming. And what about mod support?
So that's a question quite a lot of people have asked, and I can't give full details. I know we did a Q&A where he said it's something that we are interested in. It would have to. It's not for release. The only additional information that I can say on that is that our engine is actually designed to support that from a back end already. So don't worry, we're not closing off any avenues. I'd also like to add on it is I think there's still a lot of creativity in the game. There's lots of beautiful things which have been constructed by our Imagineers, our artists. So I'd like people to play with that, really challenge all the creative energy into that, and then once they're done with that, we may be ready then to go on to the next step.
All right, so it is good to know that it's coming, and we'll just have to be patient and enjoy the game as it is, vanilla, and then go off with our imagination.
Patience is good. Yeah, I'm patient trying to build it. I'd actually, you know, one of the things I've been telling everybody here is that the game's not finished yet. We don't start off with a finished game. So many ideas inside this head, so many ideas in the developer's head. We've got so many features. I probably haven't got enough lifetime to do everything that I want. So unfortunately we prioritize. But we've got some really cool stuff. Really, really cool.
Well, great to know. You were talking about the release, and so now we're starting alpha. Do you have any idea how long the alpha will last and how often you'll have updates?
So that's something which we're still deciding on. Alpha has many roles. So for me as a game developer, I want feedback. I want feedback on the features. If we released all the features at once, I think I'd just get too much feedback that I couldn't deal with it. The other thing is we're releasing features when we think that they're ready. And when we say ready, not finished, but hasn't got any of the major gotchas or anything like that. It's enough that you'll get into it, and then whatever you give me is stuff that we don't know. So really it depends how development goes, hopefully quite frequently.
Yeah, well, good. Yeah, we were talking about the terrain earlier. No, the roller coaster earlier, and I was told that it was good, but the UI wasn't good, and that was the feedback you'd get, but you already know that.
Absolutely, that's right. So again, we have sort of off-camera shown the coaster editor because it works. All the coasters that you'll see in the alpha levels have been built by that. They're not crafted in Maya or anything like that. But there's no point in me releasing something if it's not fun to use just yet. It's very practical. You get into it, but I want to get that learning curve just right so I get good feedback back from it.
Great. So what can people expect when they, in the finished product, not in the alpha, in terms of content? Will there be a campaign, scenarios, a sandbox, multiplayer?
So definitely sandbox. I think every great roller coaster game needs that, and the games we've made in the past have had a sandbox. Really want to put a campaign mode in. It will be in there. It's going to be scenarios, which are essentially puzzle challenges in their own right. we'll have like the traditional fixer-upper park, it's broken, what can you do to do it? And then we'll have some more trickier ones in the campaign for you to do, and you'll be able to unlock it. In terms of multiplayer, the multiplayer is really the community, and it's sharing. So that's what we really want to do, is to make it really accessible, that if you build a great coaster, a great building, that you can share it with your friends, and we want to support the community that way. So not real multiplayer as in you're building, constructing together. No, we're not doing that. What we are doing is affording sharing and communication.
Yeah, through the home screen that we were able to see with the whole world and where people put their roller coasters.
Well, it's called Planet Coaster for a reason. It's going to be a planet full of coasters, and all those icons that you saw on there are your friends or people who have built really highly rated parks. Click on them, download it, see what they've done, incorporate it into your park. Super collaborative, super creative.
Oh, good. You talked a little bit earlier about what you'd previously done on coaster games, and so you worked on Roller Coaster Tycoon 2 and 3, and now Roller Coaster Tycoon World is in production. How are the two games going to be different, and why perhaps should people play Planet Coaster instead of RCT World?
That's a good question you managed to sneak in there. So, honest answer is, I love coaster games. If the world was full of coaster games, from a creative point of view, I'd be happy. I think it's a sign that the genre is back. It's been 10 years since we've had a proper coaster simulation game, and now we have a few. You can throw in Parkitect in there if you want as well. In terms of the other part of the question, I'm just focusing on Planet Coaster. I am just making that game as good as I can. I hope people enjoy it. It's for you to play. I hope you find what I find stimulating in it, and what the team finds stimulating. So that's all I say. Just play it.
All right, good. Yeah, so it's the continuation of your vision.
It's the continuation of the game that we wanted to make, and that's something which, we're very lucky. We are self-published. We're funding this game ourselves. We are our own, sort of putting our own creative ideas in there. And
a lot of freedom.
It's freedom. There's responsibility, because yes, we don't have an external publisher, but we have thousands and thousands of coaster fans who know the game as well as what we do, and so we need to build things which really stimulate them.
We talked a little bit before, and I've been talking to a lot of people who have been comparing it a lot to City Skylines, which I'm an absolute fanatic about. How would you say that they're similar?
Similar on many levels. So the first thing I'd like to say about City Skylines is I'm so glad that game's out. It made my life a lot easier when we were trying to sort of evangelize that we want to do a deep simulation and a really creative game. Is there a market for it? Hell yes, 2 million copies. Well done. And so that's the main thing which I'm excited about, is that I know that people want to play the games that I want to play, and that's why we're making this. That's my biggest comment on City Skylines.
Right. All right, so last question, without necessarily giving away too much, because I know that you don't want to disappoint people by announcing things that you won't be able to make, but where do you hope the game will end up? Where do you want it to go, ultimately?
I hope the game's going to be played for a long time. I still know that, for example, Roller Coaster Tycoon 3, there are still videos appearing on YouTube 10 years later, and to do that we need to keep supporting it. We need to keep adding new things. Theme parks are evolving all the time. I want Planet Coaster to evolve all the time, so I'm hoping that I'm going to be allowed to support it and add content. I don't really want to say what that content is yet. I can assure everybody that there are so many ideas, as said before, in my mind, in the team's mind, that we're not short of ideas. Oh, and also what I read on the forums, so many great ideas.
Well, I think definitely we were talking about why this game is an alpha, and it's clearly not performance or things like that. It's content, and that's what we're looking forward to in the release.
Yeah. Again, the alpha process is quite interesting. I find it very useful for a sort of game developer to put something out where we can start getting feedback on, to see what's working, what's not working, and I have time to actually sort of fix it. And so from an alpha process, that's what I'm really liking. And then every time we do another little alpha drop and people see that new content, it's quite exhilarating to see their responses to it. hopefully in the positive.
Hopefully. All right, well, thank you for this interview and for this inside look into the development of Planet Coaster, and I wish you all the luck for the alpha and for the following.
Thank you very much. That's so kind.